The topic is really very interesting and it focuses on upskilling the skiller, basically a kind of trainer's training and road to the employability will, and during the discussion we'll try to focus on as to how the kind of population dividend that we have been talking about that India has and the relevance of the skilling, why it is really required. And also our focus area down the line in 5 year and 10 year, the way the population growth is projected, what kind of the skills will be required, and as to how, what kind of technology innovation in our syllabus has to be made. And if you look at the national education policy framework, it also talks about a lot of innovation around artificial intelligence, um, incorporation of digital platform to improve the quality and also the reach. So I'll begin with you, ma'am. Actually, if you could briefly share your view, given the fact that that the innovation in terms of skilling has become really important, given the fact that the population growth is high, and it could be a dividend for us if we are able to channelize the energy of our young people in a right way, and that can only happen if we are able to inculcate the right set of skilling. If you could share your views as to how in your estate some of the work that you have done. I have gone through your presentation earlier and you were actually talking about something.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. So I believe that the life cycle of any skill itself is reducing right now with the present pace at which innovation is happening and the present dynamic pace at which transformation of technology is happening. I think the life cycle of the skill is reducing. I think it's right now 2.5 years. So we need to keep on upskilling ourselves and more so the skiller and the even the skilled. So that is it is very relevant in this context to talk about upskilling, because innovation being one of the main and critical components of any person towards employability. So suppose you want to make a student employable, one critical skill set that all industry, regardless of which sector they belong to, they are looking at is how innovative the employee can be, how creative he can be, what kind of a problem solver he can be, what sort of a team player he can be. These are some transferable skills that is across any kind of job profile. These are skills that are imperative, that is there to be there in any person who is going to be hired by the industry. Therefore, one important thing, right, if we have to talk about upskilling, a very important ingredient that we'll have to think about is how innovative or how you make a child think, because education is not about filling up of knowledge. It's kindling that fire, kindling that innovative spirit in the child. Therefore, right from school education till even after he joins a company, even after he becomes a working professional, it is very, very important that in his entire DNA, the spirit of innovation is there, and we as education institutions and skill development institutions have to think about it.
Ma'am, especially I'll come to you on the teachers training and the people who are there out to give the skilling to the student. Their training themselves is become important because they will impart what they have actually learned, how good they are. And in most of the innovative thing that we have been noticing, especially when there is a relation with the technology, these are hardcore high-end technology where proprietary things is with most of the corporate organization, be it AI, machine learning, or any technology you talk about. So what really happens that as an academician, you might have a certain knowledge, but not the kind of innovation that a corporate would have done. That means we need to have a very great collaboration even on academia front with most of the our corporate players. Would you like to share based on your experience as to how you look at this collaboration part, something if you have done?
Um, yeah, I think you have rightly pointed out that in an academic institution, for example, if you look at the higher education institutions, universities in particular, the curriculum is revised only every 5 years. And that's a very, very long period. Like she mentioned, the skilling cycle, but even the academic cycle, which used to be 5 years, was quite enough 20 years back. But now you seem to have to revise the curriculum every year and as you go along. And this is a big challenge because in the university system doesn't really permit it. So that's where the skilling comes in. In order to address this, what we have done in the university is something unique, which is, be that as it may, that you revise the curriculum every 5 years, we have introduced something called microcredit courses. So these microcredit courses is 1 credit is equal to 15 hours of teaching, workshop, tutorial, lab, whatever it may be. And these are subjects which can be offered as optionals. They are not mandatory. They are voluntary, and they are value addition to both the student and something which is a niche area which meets the expectations of the industry. So, and one of the key things that we've introduced in these guidelines of microcredit courses is this need not be designed or framed by an academic himself or herself, but it's open to the industry to come and say that we need this. So, for instance, we are dialoguing with one of the companies saying on maritime analytics, which is a specialized area of data analytics. They design it so that they design what the industry wants. But one of the key challenges in this entire thing is how do we upskill the faculty or trainer themselves? This is one of the biggest challenges. How do we make sure, how do we incentivize, how do we encourage and nudge them to keep track of the industry developments, the technological advancements? You're right, this everybody speaks of, if you ask the student, they'll say, I want to do AI, ML, etc. Who's going to teach them AI and ML? Very few. This is where the academia and industry partnership becomes very, very critical. And I don't think we can go forward depending only on industry or only on academia.
Anju ma'am, I'll come to you because you come from an organization which takes care of labor, employment and all. And ultimate goal of all the conversation that we are having is how much is being converted into the employability, how much is converted into in terms of the job creation. And even for the skilling part, at that level, we see the sample size is so huge. It's very difficult to touch each one of them personally. That means you need to have some level of automation in your courses, in your imparting of skilling programs and all. And that could be done with the help of some virtual platform. We know that those experiment has happened during the pandemic, but the quality has been not as good as one think of. Would you like to share based on your experience as to how you have done something on that, especially on maintaining quality and reaching out to as many people as possible?
Had the labor, employment, and skill development. All the three verticals I have. So, and we have a network of about 500, more than 500 ITIs. Now, whatever we have discussed here, see, skilling is a very dynamic process. The needs of the market, they change from time to time. So at any point of time, when you are skilling or when you are even providing education, the higher education institutions, most of the education that you impart or the training or skilling that you do, it is, one can think, say, in a span of 5 years or 10 years. But now, since the things are moving that fast and technology changes are coming very fast, it is difficult to keep pace with. But that's a challenge. And that's what we have to meet. So, and you're very right, upskilling the skiller is the most important thing because we are also dealing with this issue very largely that not very good trainers are available. So, Government of India has a network of sector skill councils. The sector skill councils, they do the training of trainers. That's not enough. So what is important now is the professors of practice. That's number one. Is that people who have practice in the industry, who are hands-on with whatever is happening in the industry, in the field, they come and train, they come and teach. So that is the most important thing. So what we've done in Kaushalya Skill University that we have created last year is that professors of practice are very are included in the as visiting faculty, and we are giving them good amount of electives so that students can learn directly from the industry. That's number one. Number two, what we are doing is that You see, when higher education institutions or ITIs, we provide the skill training or we provide the formal courses. The uh, student goes in the in the industry, and then industry again trains them. That's a normal trend, and most of the big houses are doing that. So we have started a new experiment. Said we will affiliate you. So we are telling the industry that we will affiliate you as our skill institute. So whatever training you are providing, you keep on providing that. We are just formalizing it, putting it into a framework which is acceptable to UGC or ITI as per the NSQF, making slight modifications in that. Training still takes place in the industry with a heavy content of on-the-job training, and then the industry either absorbs these people, or still, even if the industry doesn't absorb these people, they can still go out and find the course. So one very good case in point example is the case of ArcelorMittal. Now, ArcelorMittal Academy is our Kaushalya Skill University affiliated skill institute. They started with an intake of 250 for steel technology, BSc in steel technology, and 20 for their BSc in green energy. Within 4 months, they came to us, I need another 250 in steel technology and another 80 in green energy. And the model that we have devised for them is that after 12th or diploma, the student is hired by them as a trainee. Stipend is paid, food is provided for, accommodation is provided for, and free tuitions are provided. So the course curriculum has been decided by the academic council of the university in consultation with the experts. There is about, say, 40-60 as far as on-the-job training is concerned. Because Kaushalya Skill University, all the courses have to have at least 30% on-the-job training. So they have still higher 40%. 40% is on the job. And the remaining 60 also, 60% is either being taught by IIT professors or it is being taught by their own people, their own engineers who are qualified enough to teach. But they have a lot of practical experience. So this is what we are trying to do. And now we are taking in the automobile sector, we are taking in the CNC engineering sector, and jewelry sector, all the other sectors also we are including. Right. So, for matching the needs of the industry, we have to take trainers from there. That's number one. Number two, see what happened in COVID was that COVID was a kind of a shock to everyone. But I must tell you that if you see the national statistics, Gujarat provides, even in the national data, we are the highest job provider as far as any employment bureau is concerned. As far as any employment bureau is concerned. Even in the worst of COVID times, our unemployment rate was only 2% in some categories and 2.2% in the other categories. So this year also, in the year 2021, 21-22, we provided more than 3 lakh jobs through the employment bureaus, government-run employment bureaus. No state does that. And one of the main reasons that we've been doing is that we have been emphasizing a lot on matching the skills, bringing the candidate to the, in the entire network of that pool from where we match the requirements of skill, and we hold a large number of job fairs with the industry, which is a kind of also a platform where industry also tells us their demand. So that way we are trying to...
Absolutely. Mr. Kumar, I'll come to you because we do see there are a lot of green shoot cases, which is a great example of actually giving skilling and creating employability. But there are a lot of good things happening in silos. And the scale is also a bit low compared to the kind of requirement that we have. Could you share something that you have been doing, especially to target on the scale part and also having some of the best practices of skill development, especially from a teacher's training perspective, that could be integrated into one particular platform and can be imparted to as many people as possible.
In Karnataka, we have started our skill development, entrepreneurship, and livelihood department in the year 2017 with the sole aim of bringing all the skilling program under one roof and with standardization. So this convergence took time, and we tried our best from the livelihood, that is the low end component, to the high end, that is polytechnic, up to the polytechnics. So this spectrum of variations, we have converged our effort, both short-term skilling and long-term skilling. We have tried and upscaled the uh, numbers. When we started the numbers, we had the shortage of trainers. The trainers availability may be there in quantum, but not in quality wise. So that's the major challenge we had. So we have also started training of trainers program in different aspects of our skilling programs. Both short-term courses and long-term courses required the reskilling of our own trainers. So that we have done. In the meanwhile, we have partnered with Tata Technologies and 20 industry partners for upgrading our 150 ITIs located throughout the state. And we have made them into a center of excellence. Each center is now having all Industry 4.0 required facility to teach the students on robotics, electric vehicle technology, advanced machine, then advanced welding, advanced plumbing, like this. 11 long-term courses we have introduced. We have prepared the syllabus. We have consulted industries. In fact, it came from the industry-driven approach. So the industries have prepared the syllabus, and we have got it approved from Government of India through NCVET. And we have introduced last year in these 11 courses. Similarly, for short-term courses, because as we are talking about upskilling our own skilled students, it requires to have our own facility and also the courses, required courses. So the syllabus was framed in 23 short-term courses we have introduced in a span of 3 to 6 months duration. So these students are now able to enter into the industry, which is readily seeking the Industry 4.0 manpower in the system. So the industry, academia, and government linkage we have seamlessly built in the whole process. And the investment is of the tune of 4,500 crores. Out of that, CSR alone around 4,000 crores. So the government of Karnataka has just pitched in just 10% of the money as our state contribution. Remaining all came from these 20 industries which have participated in our program. So the certification which we are issuing is the joint certification from both industry and our Karnataka Skill Development Corporation. So it gives the validity to the students to engage themselves within Karnataka or elsewhere in the country or elsewhere in the world. Now we have started introducing even soft skills courses so that they can learn the languages which they are required to be employed in somewhere else, like Germany. If they have to go German, they need to learn. Japanese, they have to learn. So these courses also we have introduced parallelly in the system. So the upskilling is an ongoing process. The day's requirement is that the students are required to learn the Industry 4.0 and upcoming challenges which they have to face in the industry. As you are aware, Karnataka being software hub, most of the engineering colleges and the high-end higher education institutions, they all focus mostly on the softer part of it. The harder part of it, we wanted to address through our skill development department, and that we have achieved in a sense that we are able to now at least train 1 lakh students in short-term courses and 30,000 students in long-term courses in a year. So that will certainly feed the industries And now when recently we had the global investors meet in Bangalore, the industry's requirements are whether you can provide skilled manpower locally immediately. That's the way they are looking for skilled workforce. So that is the market which we found it, and we tuned ourselves to upscale our facilities to the
Absolutely.
needs.
I think you're absolutely right. One of the speaker earlier from LinkedIn says that the time to skill has become so short for the companies. They want people actually who are highly skilled to join, and like spending 6 months or 7 months only on the skilling part, and then not having a surety how long the employee is going to stay. I think all the speaker spoke about, and there are a couple of you know the lines which are common. One happens to be that there is a challenge of a scale, and then there are a lot of innovation happening across different state and department. And even from the skill requirement perspective, there is diversity in terms of the organization role. And there is an organization called Sector Skill Council, even National National Skill Development Council have a lot of sub-organization which has been addressing on these. And ultimate goal of all of these is to basically create employability, create jobs. Could you share, based on your experience at NSDC, what kind of trajectory you are witnessing? What is the level of growth that we are seeing? If you could share some very hard numbers.
So thank you very much and namaskar. First of all, I feel post-COVID, there's a complete change in scenario. And a lot of people have a fear कि inflation आएगा, job नहीं मिलेंगी. But मेरा ये मानना है कि लोग कहते हैं नौकरी नहीं है. मैं कहता लोग ही नहीं है. And there is so much of scarcity of people available in the market. Just to give an example, we at NSDC, we are conducting Rozgar Mela, and we have named it as Kaushal Mahotsav. So just on 5th of this November, we conducted a Rozgar Mela in Odisha. There's a place called Kamakhya Nagar. It's 100 kilometers from Bhubaneswar airport. It's a very small town. And we went there with 135 employers and with about 68,000 jobs. You'll be very surprised to know we were able to get only 1,200 people. And then we conducted more work there. So then again, we were able to get 15,000 people out there. And the first challenge we had is, they said, no, sir, we want to have a job in Kamakhya Nagar, or we want to have it in Odisha. We want to go outside and stuff like this. So as far as I feel, when it comes to job, market has really opened up after post-COVID. And there is so much of requirement from the industry. Madam was talking about ArcelorMittal. Alone over there, we got a requirement of 800 people from this one company. And you take any company, every single company in the country has a requirement of having people. I'm sure all the senior academics people who are sitting here, in each one of them, they have a requirement of one or the other person. मेरे को लगता है कि लोग मिल रहे हैं, पर जो लोग काम करना चाहते हैं, उसकी हमारे देश में कमी है. Also, sir, at NSDC, we have started a new wing called NSDC International. तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने हमें मैंडेट दिया कि जो लोग इंडिया से बाहर जाते हैं वो एक राइट चैनल के थ्रू, राइट ट्रेनिंग के थ्रू जाएं. तो वी स्टार्टेड इन लास्ट अगस्त. विद इन अ वेरी शॉर्ट टाइम वी ऑलरेडी हैव अ रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ 20,000 people who want to, from the different countries, and that too from like Canada, Germany, Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, so many countries, GCC, and everyone is looking people from India. And to all my great panelists here and my audience over here, I want to tell you, now everyone in the world is looking for Indian audience. So whether it is healthcare, like a country like Canada, they are looking for 5,000 nurses from India. And they have given us a module, they have given us a curriculum, we are going to train them here, and we are going to open excellence center here. I want to give another example. We have done a tie-up with Maruti for training of drivers and other things. They got 11 centers. And they said, sir, in our training center, they are so nicely made. आपके गुजरात में भी मैम महसाना के अंदर एक वर्ल्ड क्लास मारुति का ट्रेनिंग सेंटर है. And they said, sir, we want to give such a good quality training, not only how to drive car, but how to be disciplined, how to have behavior, how to do yoga, how to do meditation, these kind. So nowadays, we at NHDC, what we have done, whenever we take a requirement from the organization, we note down the module, what is the KRA, what is the job role, what kind of culture they should know. People going in like from Japan or Germany or Canada, it is very important to collaborate with their culture. So even what we are doing, so someone is going to Germany, so our team is going to receive them, be with them for 2 days, do a cultural transformation so that they can adopt well. Homesickness, we got to know is a very big challenge. Whether people coming from Odisha to North India going to South India coming to North India, or people going from outside. तो मुझे लगता है कि और जितने भी कॉलेजेस यहाँ पर है, मुझे लगता है कि बिहेवियर पे ट्रेनिंग देना बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. And we strongly believe skilling, upskilling and reskilling is very, very important. I came across to one of Washington University and they said, मैंने उनसे पूछा कि सर जो भी सीनियर लोग आपके पास ट्रेनिंग करने आते हैं आप उनको पहले क्या सिखाते हैं? They said first 7 days we teach them how to write mails correctly, how to address it properly, how to redraft the mail correctly, how to write letters correctly, and they says we got a very great response. So मुझे लगता है कि हर प्रतिभा अवसर के बिना बेकार है. तो मुझे लगता है कि इस समय अवसर खूब हैं और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, all the state governments are doing a great job. And with all the institutions who are here, we want to tell you that if you are looking for any help from NHGC in terms of any partnership, we are doing a lot of partnership with academics and industry. और ये इंस्टीट्यूशन का एक और ड्रॉबैक ये भी देखा गया है कि जो लोग एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पढ़ाते हैं वो एंटरप्रेन्योर है नहीं, और जो एंटरप्रेन्योर है वो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पढ़ाते नहीं है. तो ये भी मुझे लगता है कि बहुत बड़ा मिसमैच है. तो मुझे लगता है हम सबको मिलकर ट्रेनिंग और स्किलिंग का काम करेंगे तो देश का बहुत भला होगा. इट इज़ अ वेरी गुड टाइम फॉर आवर कंट्री. इट इज़ अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर ईच वन ऑफ अस, चाहे वो बच्चे हैं, चाहे इंडस्ट्री है, चाहे एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, टू प्लेस आवर चिल्ड्रन, टीच देम नाइसली, डू देयर रीस्किलिंग and put them into industry. This is what I want to say.
Absolutely. Wonderful. We are in the last leg of the panel discussion, so I'll request all of you to have your answer as short as possible. I'll go to you, ma'am. What actually sir was talking about that, you know, there are a lot of jobs, but when you actually organize either job fair or go for any interview, you are able to hire very limited number of people. And that is true because of the fact that the kind of skills that you are looking for, you are not able to actually get. And you look at the attrition rate in the corporate world today. So if you are a cybersecurity company, or maybe let's say you are IT head of a bank, the attrition rate in those organizations is as much as 43%, 42%, 40%. So to have a great quality resource has become quite challenging. And that is the main reason when you organize fairs and all, you have a limited set of people you are able to hire. That only happened because the kind of training we needed to impart, our teachers needed to impart, somehow there is a gap, and those gaps has to be filled in. Could you share your views why actually we are facing that kind of challenge, and as to how maybe some of the stitching that we can make here and there, and possibly our numbers could go up?
Yeah, that is a very, very relevant problem today. The aspirations of the youth vis-a-vis the expectations from the industry. Somewhere there is no match at all. There's a lot of mismatch and a lot of gap. Aspirations of the youth right now, they are ever increasing. And everybody wants a job. Looking at the IT sector and the pay pack that they're receiving for a fresher, you know, the aspiration of the youth goes very, very high. So the moment they step into a higher education institution or a college, everybody's expectation is to get 20,000 above, because that is how they see their peers or their seniors getting. So therefore, the level of aspiration for an industry which is paying much less than, because that is a norm. You know, core manufacturing or other service industries, except for IT, the rest of the service industries, they have a salary pack. But the youth, the aspiration level is much high. And the expectations of the industry right now, when they go for a job fair, what kind of a skill set that they expect from the youth is not very, because it's a mass job fair. Therefore, we are not able to set right the expectations of the industry one. And somewhere, you know, the career pathway or the career growth for and what value add for the aspirant, that also is not clearly met, or rather awareness level, I would say. So being into 34 sectors, skilling in 34 sectors itself is quite a challenge. And looking at the number of job roles in every sector, that itself is quite exhaustive. And therefore, awareness for every job role and what is the career pathway is very difficult. So we need to take it at the industry level, probably the level of skill set that they are looking at, how we can match, and a pre-screening at that level probably might help. Bringing it onto the portal, bringing the expectations from the industry, and matching the skill set vis-a-vis the aspirations. This might work if we do a preliminary screening. The problem for skilling per se is at scale. How does it work at scale? And we cannot give these 10% who are aspiring for a higher pay pack, only those 10% will be given emerging tech skills. We need to look at the larger, the 90% who are left behind too. So one pertinent point that you made was how is online, learning going to help? Yes, of course, that is the solution. But how much of a skilling can we? Knowledge, yes, but how much of a skilling can be given through an online course? 70% you can do it through simulation, but the rest 30% it has to come through hands-on. So how do we do it at scale? So this is where our skill hubs, probably we can locate some skill hubs deep into the geographical, spread across the geographies of the country and the state, and ensure that those skill hubs are have the relevant infrastructure, have the competent trainers, and those skill hubs can be made into centers where children can come and students can come in and have the relevant hands-on skills, that 30% which is the finishing skill that any industry would require. We've done it in Tamil Nadu. We've done around for 3 lakh students. We've done some skilling courses, and we've done it at this scale because we were able to create hubs for students to come in and get their certificates. The final project will be done in the skill centers, and these will be located in skill hubs across the state.
Ma'am, you come from Maritime University. The kind of skill requirement, especially from the teacher training perspective, and the huge shortage that we see. I mean, earlier you referred to the AI, ML, and high-end automation. Those are the area wherein we have very limited resources. I mean, the number of people who could actually come to our universities, train us, and then most of these are proprietary technology. Could you share actually how we can bridge this? Earlier you spoke about the collaboration, but at scale, is there anything that we can do?
Yeah, I'm going to step aside a little from the question and take off on what he mentioned. When we talk about skills, both the pandemic and the distance learning and online learning has put so much emphasis on technology. But I will give you 2 examples. I was heading the special economic zone, and there were several IT companies there. And I remember they're mentioning jobs are not a problem, employability is a problem. And I think this is what he meant. It's not unemployment. One of the factors they said is, we can teach them technology because each company, each industry has a different platform, has different technical requirements. Says we cannot teach them communication skills. So if somebody comes with a communication skill, it's easier for us to introduce the technology. In the Indian Maritime University, we are facing the same feedback. It's an international field, it's a global field, and you're competing with countries like Philippines, Vietnam, Ukraine, etc. Now, Philippines, their technological advancements are lower. So actually the maritime engineers in India are way ahead of the Philippines. But when it comes to communication and it comes to attitude, these are the 2 things that they keep saying that India needs to pull up their socks, Indians need to pull up their socks to match the skills that are expected globally, communication and attitude also. So we have to focus on that. I'll just take half a minute more to say, now communication skills cannot be, these are, an August gathering of educationalists. It cannot be taught in a classroom, in a university or a college. And it's not English literature, it is how you communicate in any language, how precisely, what's your clarity of thought, what's your clarity of expression. So one of the things, and the younger generation, is just a passage of time, the younger generation has lost its ability to take a book and read for 3 hours. There's several reasons for that. So we have to reintroduce, methods by which they will be able to communicate. We are doing it in different ways. Our internal exams, for example, I've introduced book reviews. You will be surprised, the actually hesitation came from the faculty, but the students were brilliant. They went and read books. And when I asked them, why did you choose this book? How did you choose this book? They said, no, there was a neighbor who was an avid book reader. I asked them, excellent books they read, Look at summarizing certain online during the pandemic. There were lots of experts across the world giving workshops, doing online workshops, online seminars. Listen to them and summarize. So you actually build their communication skills through this method. And I think that's very, very important, because again, people are not available. The industry will say, yes, he has the knowledge, but he's not able to talk, she's not able to explain, she's not able to interact. There are people skills which are required. Technology has led you to, everything is on internet, everything is on Google, but if you make them sit across and say, talk, there is a problem. So those are also skills that we need to address, and it's global.
Absolutely. Ma'am, would you like to add something, especially on the teachers training part? Yes.
Nobody taught me communication skill. Total Hindi medium student. Till 7th standard, I jumped into English medium. My father put me in English medium. And I topped 10th, 12th, graduation all, and UPSC. Now all in English medium. So it's not, I won't say that, nobody taught me communication skills. These kind of skills cannot be taught. When does a person not speak? When they are not confident, when they don't know. They don't know and they are not confident that whatever they are saying is right. Then they are not able to speak. So we have to go into the basics. See, that's what a big mistake we will be doing if we deviate from domain skills to all this soft skills tamasha. I call it soft skill tamasha. Because the thing is that if you strengthen the domain skills, the person will be invaluable. And no industry will leave that person. He'll be grabbed by any unit that values any company that values his technical skills, his functional skills, technical skills, functional skills. We cannot overlook the importance of technical and functional skills. Those are the most important things. आपको क्रिकेट सीखना है, तो आपको सिखाएंगे बॉल ऐसे घुमाओ और ऐसे इस एंगल पे डालो और ये करो, उससे क्रिकेट थोड़े आएगा. आपने और मैंने सबने क्रिकेट खेला है बचपन में. डिड वी रीड अ बुक? डिड एनीबडी टीच अस कि भाई बॉल हाथ में लिया, गलत मारा तो फिर किसी ने बताया ऐसे नहीं ऐसे मारो, तो अच्छा ठीक है 2 बार ऐसे मारा, ऐसे अच्छा लगा तो वैसे मारा, नहीं गलत लगा तो वैसे नहीं मारा. तो इस तरीके से स्किल्स सीखी जाती है और इसीलिए स्किल्स महंगी होती है. आई टॉक्ड इन द मॉर्निंग ऑल्सो कि per child, government spends about 50 to 70,000 on skill, whereas on education, 15 to 25,000. Why? Because वो तो सब बुक में से मिलता है और इसको करने के लिए सारी मशीनरी चाहिए, इक्विपमेंट चाहिए. You know what is a child to teacher ratio for skill? 1:20, 1:25. Whereas in education, 1:60, 1:70, 1:110. You can't teach skills in groups of 60, 50. You have to have very small groups of 20, 25. You have to have a lab in which they are taught. So these are the basic challenges in skill. These are the basic challenges in employability. आप उसको ये कहो कि बच्चे को बोलना नहीं आ रहा, बच्चे को बोलना इसलिए नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि उसे आता नहीं है. उसको कन्विक्शन नहीं है कि जो मुझे आता है वो सही है. उसे आता भी होगा तो उसको कन्विक्शन नहीं है कि जो मुझे आता है वो सही है. तो वो उसको कॉन्फिडेंस कब आएगा? जब वो एक्चुअल प्रैक्टिस कर लेता है. इंटरव्यू में आप बुला के पूछते हो इसीलिए नहीं बोल पाता क्योंकि उसने एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिस तो किया ही नहीं है वो. सो वी हैव टू फोकस अ लॉट एंड दैट्स अगेन एंड अगेन आई एम टेलिंग कि हमको निकालना पड़ेगा इंडस्ट्री में से ट्रेनर्स को. यदि हमें स्किल सिखानी है और यदि हमें स्किल बेस्ड एजुकेशन भी करना है तो ट्रेनर्स को इंडस्ट्री में से ही निकालना पड़ेगा. पीपल who have practiced it themselves. Somebody who has all the life जो बैठ के सिर्फ किताबें पढ़ा है और लेक्चर्स दिया है वो कैसे स्किल सिखा सकता है? सिखा सकता है लेकिन एक बेसिक नॉलेज दे सकता है. एक्चुअल नॉलेज तो फिर वो जब ऑन द जॉब ट्रेनिंग इंडस्ट्री में करेगा वहीं पर मिलेगा. तो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज अप्रेंटिसशिप डे 1 पे देते हैं हम लोग कि आप अप्रेंटिसशिप और ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग करोगे ही करोगे. और जॉब्स की कोई शॉर्टेज नहीं है इंडिया में. एज ही इज सेइंग इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज प्रोड्यूसिंग मिलियंस ऑफ जॉब्स. एंड आज कुछ सेक्टर्स तो ऐसे हैं, टेक सेक्टर स्पेशली और इंडस्ट्री 4.0 की तरफ में हम जा रहे हैं. तो इमर्जिंग सेक्टर्स लाइक यू टेक द केस ऑफ ड्रोन सेक्टर, वी हैव ह्यूज वेटिंग. वो आप ट्रेन करके भेजो, अगले दिन उसको गेट्स एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑफ 50,000 रुपीज़ अ मंथ, 40,000 रुपीज़ अ मंथ. तो जॉब्स बहुत हैं, बट देन वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर आवरसेल्व्स टू केटर टू, एज Sabha told in the morning in the LinkedIn session, is that with the by 2025 with Industry 4.0 coming, a lot many jobs are going to disappear. About, she said something, a figure of 72 million jobs or something, if I remember correctly, are going to disappear. But at the same time, 93 million more jobs are going to be created, but the job content will be different from what you've been teaching. आप अभी वेल्डिंग सिखाते हो, आप उसको मैनुअल वेल्डिंग सिखाते हो, अब सारा रोबोटिक वेल्डिंग आ रहा है, आपको उसको प्रोग्रामिंग सिखाना पड़ेगा. तो द कंटेंट विल वेरी, the knowledge base will vary. So everything, these are the challenges we'll have
Absolutely,
to do.
I completely agree with you. And there, actually, the professor of practice program that the government has introduced becomes really important, because most of these emerging jobs that will come based on the, you know, the pushing of the industry 4, AI, machine learning, blockchain, or high-end automation. So there, actually, the knowledge is with most of the people who are actually working in the industry. Could you share your views on?
Yes, now disruptive technologies are everywhere. It's there in all the sectors. It's not only in artificial intelligence or somewhere, but everywhere the disruptive technologies are there. And you know that startups are emerging like anything, and overnight they change the way we transact with each other. So in such a scenario, the industries are now finding it difficult to get the manpower, and they are also finding it difficult to sustain themselves. So they need to upscale themselves. That's the reason we have introduced this 150 skill hubs, where the industries also can train their workforce in our institutions on an emerging technology. And if they want their services or products to be designed in our institutions, we are welcoming them. So that's the way we wanted to have the clear collaboration between industry, academia seamlessly. And it should create an atmosphere where the industry should not feel left out. We have the government is introducing the technology and the courses are being designed, but our workers or our employees are not equipped to handle where to go. So this is a scenario which, where we need to step in, and that's the reason government has stepped in and introduced the skill hubs.
Mr. Goenka, earlier you mentioned about the fact that, as ma'am also said, the economy is doing good and there are ample jobs. The thing that we are struggling with is, are we able to produce the right set of skills, the people who are seeking job? Since you come from National Skill Development Council, could you give a kind of inner understanding why there is this gap, and what have you done actually to address, and what kind of success you had so far?
पहली बात तो मेरा ये मानना है कि दुनिया में 90% लोग जो पढ़ते हैं वो करते नहीं, और जो काम वो करते हैं उसकी उन्होंने कभी पढ़ाई नहीं करी होती है. यस और नो? सबको नींद आ रही होगी, बट आर यू विद मी? से यस और नो? क्योंकि लंच के बाद वैसे भी बड़ा मुश्किल काम है सबको जगाना. सो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हम करना क्या चाहते हैं. और दूसरी बात क्या है कि सर, लोग खुश नहीं है, चाहे वो 10,000 रुपए की तनख्वाह लें, चाहे 10 लाख की तनख्वाह लें. सो द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज, देयर इज नो वाव इन देयर लाइफ. सो आइदर जो पढ़ रहे हैं उनको ये कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है कि यार जो मैं पढ़ रहा हूं, मैं क्यों पढ़ रहा हूं. यू गो टू एनी कॉलेज, इन माई ओन इंस्टीट्यूशन एट गोयनका पब्लिक स्कूल, द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज इज, मेरे बच्चों को मैं पूछता हूं शाम को क्या करना है, तो कहते हैं सर गवर्नमेंट में जाएंगे. हमारे राजस्थान के अंदर मैक्सिमम पीपल सेज मैम गवर्नमेंट जाएंगे. सो आई वॉज वेरी कंफ्यूज, यार क्यों जाते हैं. सो आई आस्क्ड माय प्रिंसिपल कि सर ये क्यों गवर्नमेंट जा. बोले सर आप ही पूछ लो. तो डिनर के बाद में मैं राउंड ले रहा था, तो मेरे लड़कियां थी वहां पे घूम रही थी. मैंने कहा बेटे गवर्नमेंट में क्यों जाना है. बोले सर काम नहीं करना पड़ता ना. अब ऐसा माइंडसेट रहेगा तो काम कैसे करेंगे? सो मेरा क्या कहना है सर कि ना नौकरी की कमी है, पढ़ाई वाले भी कॉलेजेस मेहनत कर रहे हैं, पर मुझे लगता है कि इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू गिव देम प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस एंड प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज। पहले क्या था सर, हमारे टाइम में पिताजी हमको मार पीट के बड़ा करते थे। जो पेरेंटिंग का जो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है वो ये चैलेंज है कि भाई सबके मन में डर बैठ गया, घर छोड़ गया तो, चल गया तो, जो हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस हमारा छूटा है ना, आई फील दिस इज द बिगेस्ट ड्रॉबैक। हर आदमी को जैसे कॉलेजेस के अंदर हम पिलानी पड़ते थे तो बहुत कंपलसरी था, पढ़ाई करो और छुट्टियों में जाके काम करो, इंडस्ट्री में काम करो, आप वहां पर ये करो। तो मुझे लगता है कि वॉट एवर आई हैव लर्न आफ्टर फिनिशिंग माई स्कूल, माई फादर इन एवरी सिंगल हॉलीडे ही पुट मी टू आइदर वन शॉप और वन फैक्ट्री एंड वी हैड अ प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस। तो ना हमें कभी काम की चिंता या हमें कहीं भी छोड़ दिया। मैडम ने कहा कि क्यों बात कर पाते हैं, इसका बहुत सिंपल कारण है कि यदि इफ यू हैव अ कॉन्फिडेंस इन व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, इफ यू हैव अ नॉलेज इन व्हाट एवर यू आर डूइंग, इट्स समथिंग ग्रेट। मैडम ने ड्रोन का एग्जांपल दिया, तो ये हमारी ब्रांड लीडर हैं और हमारे जो ड्रोन इंडस्ट्री की मतलब झांसी की रानी मानी जाती है हमारी अंजू। सो गिव हर अ गुड राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज टू माय ऑल ऑडियंस because she has taken drone industry to a new height and Gujarat has created a very model and she went just out of the box to do that job. अब इनका क्या चैलेंज है? ड्रोन सीखा 10th पास या 12th पास का बच्चा या कॉलेज का बच्चा, ठीक है, जिसको बोलना आता है ना करना आता है, मैडम ने ड्रोन दे दिया, ट्रेनिंग दे दी, सर्टिफिकेट आ गया, नाउ ही गेट्स अ 30, 40, 50,000 जॉब। नाउ द नेक्स्ट चैलेंज इज, वो कहता है सर मैं सुबह क्यों उठूं? अरे भाई खेत में काम करना है तो 6 बजे पानी का छिड़काव करना पड़ेगा। फिर वो कहता है जी मैं तो थक गया। Now, can you imagine, जिस देश के अंदर आफ्टर क्लास 10th और 12th और इवन पास आउट 15,000 रुपए की नौकरी नहीं मिलती है, मैडम उनको फ्री ट्रेनिंग दे रही है, ट्रेनिंग देने के बाद में 30, 40, 50,000 की जॉब दे रही है एंड ही इज नोन एज अ पायलट। वो कोई वैसा नहीं, ही इज लेबल्ड एज अ पायलट इन इस गांव के अंदर, उसके बाद भी वो खुश नहीं है। सो व्हाट आई ऑलवेज बिलीव इज द बिगेस्ट थिंग व्हाट वी आर मिसिंग इज दिस वाव फैक्टर। लोग खुश नहीं है फिर भी शादी कर रहे हैं, शादी कर रहे हैं फिर भी वाव नहीं है। तो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, वेदर यू डू अ जॉब, वेदर इवन यू सी टीचर्स इन माय स्कूल, मैडम आई वाज वेरी सरप्राइज, भाई तुम टीचर क्यों बने? सर घर में सासू से परेशान, सेफ जॉब है सर, हम सुबह 8 बजे आएंगे 2 बजे जाएंगे। सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ईच वन ऑफ अस एंड प्लीज माई हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल द एकेडमिक्स हु इज सिटिंग हियर एंड आई स्ट्रांगली बिलीव you get entry due to your technical skills. आपको कोई भी जॉब इसलिए मिलती है आप टेक्निकली स्ट्रांग है, बट यू आर फायर्ड बिकॉज ऑफ योर बिहेवियर। सो हमें बच्चों को और इंडस्ट्री को एज एन एनएचडीसी, आफ्टर गेटिंग इन आई ऑलवेज से लेट्स टीच आवर चिल्ड्रन बिहेवियर ऑल्सो एंड लेट्स वर्क वेरी हार्ड ऑन स्किल acquire. And if we teach them nice skill in a proper way, and if we all of us we start taking a oath कि नहीं यार हमें अच्छे से पढ़ाना है, अपना काम अच्छे से करना है, और मुझे मानना है कि if they are happy about what they are doing, they produce result. Because I strongly believe in life, only happy people produce happy results. If you are happy at school, if you are happy at work, if you are happy at home, I am sure you produce better results. So that is why my take, sir, कि that whatever we do in life, if you are teaching, we have to teach nicely. If you are doing skilling, we need to do it nicely. तो बच्चों को भी लगेगा कि नहीं यार हमको मेहनत से काम करना है, क्योंकि हमारे टीचर, हमारे पेरेंट्स, हमारे लोग अच्छे से काम करें. So this is my.
No, you are absolutely right. We need to commit it to what we have committed, and I relate to a lot of examples that you have given. But the aspiration is anyway is a good thing. If somebody is not happy, the only thing I believe that they need to put a lot of effort from skilling what they need to learn to go to the next step. So we have completely exhausted our time and being a very.
एक छोटी सी बात
जी प्लीज.
और मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, आशा रखना कोई मुश्किल नहीं है. आपके पास एक्सपेक्टेशन है, आपने कहा मैम इट इज वेरी गुड, सबको एस्पायर होना है कि सबको आगे जाना है, पर मैं क्या कहता हूँ साथ में डिलीवरी भी ध्यान रखो कि भाई इफ आई एक्सपेक्ट समथिंग आई नीड टू डिलीवर. इफ यू ऑल कम फ्रॉम डिफरेंट प्लेसेस, वी ऑल केम विद द माइंडसेट दैट वी नीड टू कम, फेस ऑडियंस, टॉक टू देम नाइसली, गिव व्हाट इन्फॉर्मेशन वी हैव. तो मेरे ख्याल से एक्सपेक्टेशन और डिलीवरी बोथ गोज हैंड इन हैंड.
समर्स में हमारे टाइम में, मैं अपने टाइम की बात बताना चाहती हूँ, आप भी हम लोग सब सेम कंटेम्प्रेरीज हैं. तो समर्स में हम लोग सिलाई, कढ़ाई, बुनाई, वुडवर्क, पेंटिंग और भी एक रैपिड एक्स इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग चला करता था, है ना. आई डोंट नो हम में से कितनों ने पढ़ा है, मैंने पढ़ा उसको बहुत अच्छे से, बिकॉज आई मूव्ड फ्रॉम हिंदी मीडियम टू इंग्लिश मीडियम. तो एक रैपिड एक्स इंग्लिश मीडियम एंड भी, और कुछ नहीं तो इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग कोर्स कर लिया, कुछ कर लिया. तो 2-2.5 महीने हम लोग स्किल में लगाते थे, जो बहुत इनफॉर्मल होता था लेकिन काफ़ी एम्पावरिंग होता था. आजकल ये जो टीवी एंड नेटफ्लिक्स, अमेजॉन, पबजी और ये सब गेम्स आए हैं और ये सब आया है, दैट हैज़ टेकन अ टोल on this free time which these students used to spend on skill development. So probably that also, and as he said, those summers should be utilized in the school children and in the college children along with the internship for imparting various skills that can earn them,
Right.
including the soft skills.
And also for the academics, I want to tell you, there are so many programs run by government. Every skill, all of us who are sitting here, there is such a great opportunity to do a tie-up. इनके पास प्रोग्राम है, एकेडमिक है, हमारे पास में इंडस्ट्री कनेक्ट है. सो मुझे लगता है कि इंडस्ट्री और एकेडमिक्स को दोनों को साथ आना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो आप पढ़ाते हैं वो इंडस्ट्री को नहीं समझ में आता, जो इंडस्ट्री को चाहिए वो आप पढ़ाते नहीं है. तो मैं मैम एक 30 सेकंड का एक एग्जांपल देना चाहूँगा. इन माय फार्मास्यूटिकल कॉलेज वी हैड अ इंस्पेक्शन. सो आई कॉल माय प्रिंसिपल. मुझे तो मालूम नहीं था भाई, मैं तो मारवाड़ी आदमी. तो मैंने उनसे पूछा कि सर इंस्पेक्शन कैसे होगा. बोले सर वो टैबलेट मशीन है. मैंने कहा मंगा लो. बोले नहीं सर वैसे बहुत महंगी आती है, किराए की 30,000 मिल जाएगी, इंस्पेक्शन करा देंगे. मैंने कहा ठीक है भाई. तो हमने इंस्पेक्शन करा दिया. अब लक सो हैपन मैम, वो ल्यूपिन फार्मा का मैं एक टैबलेट प्लांट तारापुर बॉम्बे के अंदर इनॉग्रेशन होता है, मैं उसका चीफ गेस्ट था. आई वॉज सपोज टू इनॉग्रेट द मशीन. नाउ व्हेन आई वेंट देयर, और जो मेरे कॉलेज का जो इंस्पेक्शन था वो सिखा रहा था बच्चों को 20,000 टैबलेट मेकिंग पर डे. और जो मैं जिस फैक्ट्री का उद्घाटन करने गया, दे वर मेकिंग 20 मिलियन टैबलेट्स पर आवर. आई केम बैक एंड आई फायर्ड ऑल माई टीम. मैंने कहा यार तुम बच्चों को 20,000 टैबलेट पर डे का सिखा रहे हो और वहां पे 20, वो बच्चा कॉपअप ही नहीं कर पाएगा कभी इंडस्ट्री के अंदर. सो देन दे सर हम इतने 2 करोड़ की मशीन नहीं ले सकते. मैंने कोई बात नहीं, बच्चों को छुट्टियों में यू सेंड टू दीज इंडस्ट्रीज एंड लेट देम लर्न देयर सो दैट दे कैन गो एंड डू अ टाइप. Also many at NHGC what we do, we create infrastructure at your place. All the companies who want to do a training, we set up that skill set. You train your children over there so that they can be rightly placed. तो मुझे लगता है academics industry का यदि बराबर होगा तो ठीक होगा.
I just want to share one concern, and this is not to take away any of the insights. This is a session on skilling, so we focused on skills. I just hope that we are not
Teacher
trying
skilling.
to replace skill, knowledge with skill. Because the basic knowledge is what gives you critical analysis, critical thinking, clarity of thought, clarity of expression. Now, if we concentrate only on technology and skills, what happens to history, geography, social sciences? That's important for society also. But then we are doing, to combine the two, we have partnered the Logistics Skill Council, for example, to have a course which is apprenticeship based, which has hands-on experience. But then the knowledge part is also very important. Skill is an add-on.
Absolutely. So thank you so much once again for being such a wonderful panelist. We had a very passionate panel discussion, and thank you for being a wonderful panelist and sharing your views. Thank you.